Yo, what's happening, people? Back again for another stream. Smash that like button and subscribe to my channel at Gav Goes In. So, Man United Coventry match reaction. Well, where do we start? I mean, yeah, Man United got through on penalties 4-2. But to be honest, to allow Coventry City to come back from 3-0 down. And you know what? I called it. I said once the first goal went in, once Coventry scored, I said, although it's from the penalty spot, I said Hadji right. I said he would equalise to make it 3-3. And Lord and behold, that's what happened, you know. To be honest with you, this Man United team is a joke. I'm just getting tired of watching this team. You know, it's so frustrating to watch the style of football that's being played. Certain players that are playing week in, week out. People want to obviously talk about the attitude of certain players. Yeah, the whole thing's a shambles, let's be honest, you know. Me personally, I think it comes from the manager, you know. Yes, some of these players are either not good enough or overhyped, but the manager does decide to pick these players. And throughout the season, he has had a choice to pick different players, which he hasn't done. So, yeah, for me, the game against Coventry, I mean, hats off to Coventry. I think to come back from a free goal disadvantage speaks volumes for them, really, you know, in the semi-final. Although in the end, it wasn't enough. Man United go through to play against Man City in the final on the 25th of May. I'll expect Man City to win that comfortably. I'm looking at. I think City could beat United 3-0. If I'm honest, because Man United not good at all. They're a very hard watch, and yeah, the fact that this manager comes out with some of the comments that he does, you know, it's just shows delusion, really, you know. Yeah, it's just frustrating watching this team, you know. And me, I watch football I love, you know. First and foremost, I'm a purist, you know. I like to watch the technical side of the game, tactical side of the game, and just for the pure enjoyment. And I can honestly say, watching Man United, I don't get absolutely no enjoyment watching them. You know, it's just as I say, it's a hard watch, you know. And quicker this season's over, I think there's probably about, obviously including the FA Cup final, I think there's about 6 or 7 games left to the end of the season. Yeah, it's just frustrating, and the quicker this season's over, and I just hope Ineos, you know, do what's required, and United can start to go in a different direction and start competing in the Premiership again for the title, and obviously competing in Europe. Because with this manager, it's not going to happen, and with these set of players, it's definitely not going to happen. So yeah, we're going to go into the performances. Andre Onana, you know what? I think people have to hold their hands up and say, you know, Onana has actually turned it around. I think Onana is displaying a consistent performance that can be, you know, that can be respected now. I mean, the shot that he saved from that volley, I mean, people will say, yeah, the volley was straight down its throat. But for me, it's the reaction to just, you know, get his hand to it. Because if that, I think it was Victor Torp, I think his name was. If that goes in, I believe Coventry go through, you know. And to make that save, yeah, it was a very good reaction save. And, you know, too many things he now at the moment he's getting right, I think, with Onana. You know, I think the mistakes are being lessened, and yeah, I think next season he's definitely going to be a next season. I think if you put because I don't think the defense has actually been that bad, if I'm honest. I think the defense has actually done quite well. Whoever's come in, Even the likes of Maguire now, who's putting in decent performances. I think the whole defense and the keeper, I think they've done very well. So I think not much can be attached to them. But I think next season, depending on the changes, I think you will see Onana go from strength to strength. Personally, So another good performance from Onana. Dalot at right back. I thought Dalot had a good game. I mean, as I say, when you're part of a defense and obviously the keeper as well, that's conceding 3 goals to a championship side. Obviously, questions do have to be asked, but I think Dalot's general play obviously had the assist for the first goal for McTominay. I think Dalot had a good steady game. I think, to be honest with you, it's not really not too much to dwell on with Dalot. I think Dalot's definitely gonna be here next season, and it just remains to be seen if he can continue his form. I'm a fan of Dalot. I think Dalot's very good, and I think what will show Dalot that he's he's going to be a main starter. I mean, there is obviously talks of Frimpong coming in, and to be fair, I'd like Frimpong to come in if it means moving on Wan-Bissaka and getting Frimpong in to compete with Dalot. I'm fine with that, but I think giving Dalot number 2 shirt next season will show the faith that the manager has in him to be the starting right back for the foreseeable. But as I said, I wouldn't mind Frimpong coming in to add competition and arguably compete with Dalot to be the starting right back. I know Frimpong's more of a right wing back, but I think in a different system where your fullbacks are expected to be the overlapping and bomb on, I think Frimpong can suit that easily. So, but on Dalot, good performance. Not too much to dwell on. Centre backs. Casemiro played centre-back with Harry Maguire. Let's touch on Harry Maguire first. Harry Maguire, to be fair, has been playing very well as of late. I hope this doesn't mean that Maguire is going to stay there next season. He does need to be moved on to bring in reinforcements. But to be honest with you, he's doing his job. He got a good header from the corner. Obviously, everyone knows Harry Maguire in the air is very dominant, and his header was very good. And his performance, as I say to you, has been good as of late. So, not too much to argue with. Casemiro obviously deputising as Varane's injured. Victor Lindelof is out, and Willy Camboala also was out as well. Casemiro, for me, if I'm honest, Casemiro's checked out, and I can't really blame him. As I said before, this guy is a Champions League winner, multiple times Champions League winner. He's won international honours with Brazil, and to be fair, he's probably looking around thinking, "What the hell is this?" It's embarrassing. And I think that with Casemiro, I'm hoping he stays, but I can see that. Well, it depends what the club want to do, and this is why I want Ineos and to make a decision really so there's clarity on what's going to happen. I mean, personally, I'll keep Casemiro, but there's obviously reports of him being moved on. And to be honest with you, if you're going to move Casemiro on, who's going to be the alternative to bring in? That's what I would like to know. But at centre back, I think when United were 3-0 up, obviously had a fairly easy game. But I think when Coventry started trying to attack, I think you noticed that he was under pressure a bit more. Obviously, he's not a centre back, so he just done what he had to do really. And then his penalty, the penalty. To be fair, it wasn't the greatest of penalties. Some people say that he's Ten Hag out or he doesn't really care. I mean, there's no way of proving that. But what I will tell you is that I do believe he's checked out, and he's not really. He's just playing through the motions. Really, he's not really invested in this club for this season, as it's been a shambles, and you can't really blame him, to be honest. Wan-Bissaka. Wan-Bissaka's, for me, needs to be moved on. I mean, his awareness, in actual fact, for the goal in extra time, I believe, I think I see something where the lines were drawn in the wrong place, and it looked like he actually did play Haji right on side. But he got away with it. I mean, the penalty he gave away, I mean, probably was a bit harsh, but obviously you see penalties given for these things quite often now, so it's to be expected. But his overall game, as I say, in possession, he's isn't the greatest. But as I say, not going to dwell on him too long. It's up to Ineos now to sort out the playing squad, and I believe he's someone that 100% needs to be moved on. Then we move on to midfield. Kobbie Mainoo, another good solid game from Kobbie. Obviously, he always comes off majority of the time. It's always on that 70th minute mark he comes off. But when he did play, as we know, his composure is always there. Very tenacious in the tackle as well. And as I say, yeah, just with Kobbie, just need to just protect him. You know, I believe he gets called up to the Euros. For me, obviously, he won't start. It's probably nailed on that he won't start. But I believe he will get called up, and you'd expect to see him in that squad for the foreseeable, and being one of the main players in that midfield, such as his rise. But yeah, another good solid game from Kobbie Mainoo, and obviously expect to see him in the lineup against Sheffield United on Wednesday. McTominay, to be honest with you, McTominay, apart from the goal, which we know he's got that in his locker, disappeared in the game, didn't really take part in the game, as he always does. There's no point dwelling on McTominay. One of the first names that needs to be moved on. Nowhere near good enough, not a Man United player. And the quality needs to be reinforced in that position, most definitely, you know. Bruno Fernandes, same. The first name that I would move on in the summer, you know, nowhere near good enough. I mean, yeah, he runs around. For me, that's not enough. His goal was a deflected shot, which was quite lucky, let's be honest. But I've seen this guy in this Man United team for too long, and he seems to be the one consistent. And as I said, a new manager coming in, the first thing they need to do is take the armband off him and let him know that he either has to move on or he's going to be a bench option. Mark my words, until this happens, yeah, this club is going to continue to struggle. There's no way Bruno Fernandes can be the main hub of the team. It's impossible. You need to move him on as quick as possible. And the thing is with Bruno's not going to settle for a bench role, because this club had decided that he was the guy, now realizing that he's not the guy. So his ego is now going to be, well, I'm too good to be on the bench. So eventually he will move on. But until a manager comes in and does this, expect United to be playing the football that they're playing at the moment, which is poor, and United to not go anywhere, because believe me now, he is he is the main reason. Yeah, I don't care what anyone says. He's the main reason as to the poor football and as to why this club are continuing to stagnate as well on the field. You know, Marcus Rashford, another player that needs to be moved on. He's another player that's checked out. Ten Hag obviously hasn't got the balls to drop him. You know, the criticism that Rashford's getting, as I've mentioned previously, there's no point criticizing Rashford, because, you know, we're going down the same old avenue of certain players getting criticized. Rashford has never been good enough, you know, and the fact that people are only realizing that now is shameful. It's shocking, to be honest with you, because, yeah, Rashford has never been at level. And now you're just seeing performances that really and truly That's what he's always been. You know, in and out of games, might get the odd goal, and then people get excited and think, oh, yeah, Rashford's is the go-to guy. And now you're seeing that he's not. So as I said, there's no point dwelling on him. It's up to Ineos now to see what they do. Garnacho on the right, obviously come off after 60 minutes, I believe, 65 minutes. Another average performance, didn't do much besides run with the ball. Another guy that his ego has been inflated by this fan base. And as I say, it's up to Ineos. He's going to be here next season. Next season, he can only be as a bench option. There is no way, especially if United are being linked with Elise. If Elise comes in, that means Garnacho can only play on the left-hand side because you're going to have Ahmad, hopefully, if he stays, and Elise. And then you got Anthony still there as well. I'm not sure what's going to happen to him, which means the left-hand side, you'd expect Rashford to still be there. And then Garnacho. For me, Garnacho is a bench player. You know what I mean? There's no way he should be starting week in, week out. If you're going to start him in the Carabao Cups, the FA Cups, I hear it. But if you think you're going to start him in the league for the majority of the games that he's been playing, then again, just like Bruno, expect this team to go nowhere. You know, and he's another one that his ego's been inflated. He's going to think he's too good to be sitting on the bench now. But there's no way this guy next season should be starting games for Man United regularly, you know. So he's another one that needs to be looked at as either, you know, I don't understand why Garnacho hasn't gone on loan. Why Man United have not loaned this player to see what he can do on loan, but yet they're playing him in the first team as if he's good enough and he's nowhere near the level. Don't care what anyone says, he's not. And yeah, so as I said, just to see next season what Ineos do. Rasmus Højlund, possibly the worst striker to play for Man United, if I'm honest. I mean, this guy, I don't see what he does. He does nothing, really. People get excited because he runs around a lot, and this is the level now. As long as you're running around, you're showing heart, you're showing passion, you're showing commitment. That's all people care about, really. And for me, it's about running smart, not just running hard all the time, you know. And when a ball comes into him, he never holds the ball up. You know, he's too easily shut off the ball. He's too easily losing possession. You know, his link-up play ain't there. He had a chance in the box to score. Was indecisive about what he wanted to do. You know, and this is a guy that cost 72 million. So for me, yeah, no way can he be starting next season as the main striker. You know, another guy that if you want to be ruthless, personally, they need to move him on. You know, move him on or make him a bench option. It's as simple as that. No way can he be starting next season as the main striker. And as I said, with Ineos, they have things to do on that side of it, especially with a new manager, hopefully incoming. And then we can see where Man United, what direction they go into, because there's too many players that are starting in this team that are not good enough, and he's definitely one of them. You know, yeah. And then the subs that come on. So you had Christian Eriksen come on. I believe Eriksen leaves at the end of the season. His impact isn't there. And to be honest with you, just like Juan Mata, the club have ruined Eriksen. Why Eriksen is playing as a central midfielder in what is dubbed the most physically demanding league in the world is nonsense. You know, especially in a system which isn't set up to utilize ball playing midfielders. Like, he's best off playing as a number 10, where he can get on the half turn and create. Playing him in a central midfield position is just nullifying him, really, because he hasn't got the legs, which everyone knows. But again, that's a fault on the manager. Why the manager is deciding to play him there. And what makes me laugh as well is that when you're 3-0 up and you want control of the game, you need to bring players on that can control the game. Christian Eriksen is one of them. Kobbie Mainoo is one of them. So you take off Kobbie Mainoo, bring on Eriksen, and you leave on McTominay and Bruno, who are gung-ho midfielders who want to get rid of the ball as soon as possible. and you wonder why Coventry come back into the game. Again, another decision from the manager, which is baffling, and it's just, it just doesn't make any sense, And other subs, you had Anthony coming on. Anthony was poor. I'm not going to jump on Anthony too much because his last couple of appearances, he has played quite well. But against Coventry, he didn't really do too much. It was quite quiet. And Ahmad come on. Ahmad had an impact, to be fair. Ahmad's got consistent quality. When Ahmad gets the ball, you just know Ahmad's going to keep it. What's missing from Ahmad's game is just continuity. He needs to be playing week in, week out. And this manager is choosing to play players, i.e. Garnacho, Rashford, Hoyland. He's choosing to play these players ahead of Ahmad. And Ahmad's better than all three of them from a technical standpoint. And as I said, next season, I just want to see what this Man United team is going to shape like, because I think it's been too long now how consistently the wrong players keep playing, and the team's never been built around players that are technically secure with the ball. It's been built around players that are just physically, either physically imposing or just energetic. And you wonder why Man United struggle. So, as I said, Ahmad just needs continuity for next season. I believe he'll be here next season. I believe the new manager will definitely use him. But and then you had Amari Fulson come on. Fulson's don't really expect much of Fulson, to be honest. Obviously, youth product. I think he had a few shots in the game, but not really much to really write home about, As I said, I think I'm just looking forward to the new season now, and hopefully, the new manager that's incoming can rectify a lot of these deficiencies in the team, So and obviously so Man United play on Wednesday tomorrow against Sheffield United. I mean, you would expect United at home to get a comfortable victory. But conceding 3 goals to a Championship side in Coventry, nothing's a given. And Sheffield United, I think Sheffield United more or less know they're going down, but still they're still fighting for their lives. So United have 2 games back to back in the league against Sheffield United and Burnley, which you'd expect 6 points. Can I see them getting 6 points? Not really. I wouldn't be surprised if one of them games are a draw and a loss. It wouldn't surprise me. But we have to wait and see. I just want this season to end now, to be honest, and just see what Ineos do. I mean, if Ineos was to come out within the next week or so, next couple of weeks, and say, look, this is what they're going to do with the management side of it, at least there's clarity. Even if it's a case where, worst case scenario, they say, look, they're going to keep Ten Hag, at least bring some clarity, because everyone knows Ten Hag ain't good enough. Everyone knows his players ain't good enough. So what do Ineos think? And this is what the big question is. So hopefully these things can get rectified very soon. Because no longer can we keep watching this nonsense. It's just boring to watch. And it's just the only game I'm looking forward to with Man United now is the Arsenal game, really. And that's because, obviously Arsenal being a historic rival of Man United, Old Trafford, Arsenal are going to obviously fancy their chances and going to need to win the game for the title race, which is going to be interesting, which is coming up in the next couple of weeks. That's the only game I'm looking forward to, really. So, and obviously the FA Cup final, Man City are going to win that comfortably. So we have to wait and see. But I hope you guys like the stream. As I say, don't forget to smash the like button and don't forget to subscribe to my channel at Gav Goes In. And as I said, guys, throw some chats in there. I say if you have a difference of opinion on my analysis of the player performances or the manager, be sure to comment. And as I say to you, obviously not everyone's going to agree with what I'm saying, but as I say, it's my opinion, and I'll say what I've got to say, really. I'm back later on in the week for the match reaction to the Sheffield United game, which hopefully will be 3 points. Not confident of that, But yeah, we suppose Man United go again. Yeah, catch you guys later.